Well, the end of part 1 was getting pretty depressing, so in case you, just so that you guys don't think I'm, completely depressed, let's talk about some good things, some happy things, like Ikebana, which is flower arranging, and they had a big lecture on how it's not just flower arranging, the same way that last semester in the show or calligraphy workshop, we had a big lecture on how that's not just calligraphy. And just as a reminder, I'm going to show you my show. It's a little dusty though. That's my show, that's my calligraphy. It says moon. So that's what we did. That was our art workshop last semester. This semester, it was Ikebana, flower arranging. And we did it in teams. Or technically pairs. Not like a big group, but 2 people. And that's kind of weird. I don't know. Because you have different ideas on what you want to do, or I'm not 100% certain how much of an idea Drake had, Drake being the guy I was working with. Maybe I'm wrong, but Drake doesn't really come off as the artistic type. He did say he had some ideas. He said he liked, for example, the yellow flowers, because we had several different kinds of flowers to work with. But it's like, I'm not sure he really had a goal or an idea. And I did. I had some kind of an image in my head that I wanted to use. We had these big fir leaves, and what really struck me about those was this sort of the fullness, the size, and kind of an image of strength. And the teacher, when he was working with a fir, he trimmed it down quite a bit so that it didn't crowd everything else out. And I can understand why he did that. But it also seemed like kind of a shame just because I loved that fullness, and I thought I kind of had this image of the firs sort of sheltering the rest of the arrangement, the other flowers. Did not work as well as I would have liked, at least in part because Drake also had some ideas on what he wanted to do, and of course we were working as a team. We wanted to put that together in a manner that was okay for both of us. So I didn't get to do exactly what I wanted, but neither did he. So, compromise! Hooray! Anyway. And that was fun. And then I brought it home, or rather I brought home the flowers we had used to make it, because we weren't allowed to take the stuff that we had mounted it on. It's called a kinzan, or actually means sword mountain. But it's this little stack of needly things that you can stick plant stems on so that they'll stay upright. And so I brought the flowers home and reconstructed it. I actually apparently lost a couple of the flowers somewhere along the way because I'd had them bundled up in newspaper. Well, I had the ones that we'd used bundled up in newspaper, and I had our leftovers bundled up in the thing they'd originally come in, and those were supposed to be a present for my host mother. This Drake's idea, because he'd been to our house at a previous party and met my host mother and thought that she might like some flowers. Nice of him. But I ended up having to use quite a few of those in order to attempt the reconstruction of the Ikebana that we'd done. And even then I couldn't get it perfect. Of course, that's not really the intent, and I'm sure there is a reason that some Ikebana professor could explain to me why reconstructing an Ikebana goes against the entire concept of it. I don't really care. Excuse me. What else is good? What else is fun? Well, I mentioned the mountain party. I am really looking forward to that. The last mountain party I went to was a blast. The view up there is beautiful. And it led to some other really fun things. And meeting new people. So, I'm hoping for another good one. And, hoping it doesn't get rained out. What else we got? I've been having trouble getting my iPod to charge properly. I don't know what's the deal with that is, but it's been on low battery for days, and like I'll charge it for hours and hours and it'll still be on low battery. I don't know what to do with it. And here I'm trying to get away from the depressing talk. So, started reading a new comic of late, specifically a webcomic, Lightbringer by Weblog, who is possibly better known, particularly to Crystalline, as Linkara. It's bad. I think it gets better later. I kind of get that impression. But at this point, it's bad. It's not all bad. But there's a lot about it that gets on my nerves. Not the least of which is the constant heavy-handed moralizing and, you know, just long expository speeches about the different characters' ideologies and their way of thinking of life, and there's just too much of it. Particularly since the main character has to give at least one really long speech about morality in every freaking chapter. But you know what? Some of the other characters, specifically his friends, have realized that, like, they have been noted that this is annoying. And they say that, like, yeah, this is the part where I tune him out. It's like, so at least he knows that he's rambling too much about this, and he's making it part of the character and less an extension of his own philosophy, although the character does seem to reflect his own philosophy quite a bit. The art is really bad at this point because he's doing it himself, and he's improving throughout the comic. I've read, you know, more than a year's worth of comics in this past week, and he's definitely improving. But I also know that at some point later on, he hires some other artist, and I know this because the reason I found out about this webcomic is from a video by that other artist mentioning the webcomic. And that guy's art is just a huge step up from Lewis's. And Armor Angel, which is apparently a comic he did before Lightbringer, in which he is the main character. It's just like, it's named Lewis, his superhero name is Linkar. It's just, he is the main character. And there's been a crossover, and it annoyed me greatly. Oh, so much it annoyed me. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it's getting better, and I think it will continue to get better, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. And that's about all I have to say.